Hi everyone, it's me Aggie. So I've recently jumped on the bandwagon, and I've started teaching English online. I've started making videos and posting them on YouTube, and I just wanted to share my teachings with the rest of the world, just like probably a million other people. But I'm doing it because I find it really fun. That's pretty much my reason for doing it. My friend recently spoke to me about it and said, I think you should maybe share your story, tell people about yourself and your journey and how you learnt English, and how you decided to become a teacher. And I was like, okay, why? I mean, yeah, why not? Why? What would be the reason for doing that? And she said, well, maybe people will become inspired by it. So a lot of people will resonate with your story, probably, especially people who come from, around where you lived, from Latvia or Eastern Europe. They might find it useful and inspirational. So I was like, okay, I mean, if people will find it inspirational in some way, yeah, why not? I'll do it. And then so I sat down and I started writing down my whole life. I come from Latvia and this is my education, and I came to England and I did this and I did that. I worked this job, that job, and I learned English along the way. And then I decided to do a teaching course, so etc. etc. And then I thought, hang on a second, is that really going to be inspirational for anyone? I mean, who really cares in a way? Who cares where I went to school? Who cares where I'm from? Who cares what jobs I did? I mean, how is that going to resonate with anyone? Um, I mean, we all have completely different lives and different backgrounds, and we come from different places, and we've all had different experiences, and we're all going to different places, and we all have our ways of learning. And my story might only resonate with a handful of people, so would it really be that inspirational? And I thought about it. I mean, it's not so much about my story, I don't think. I think what is important is your story. So it's your journey, your experiences, that's really important. The question why? Why would you want to learn a language? In this case, English. Why are you doing it? Um, when I was at school, I hated school. I just didn't like being forced to learn things that I didn't find interesting or useful. So I basically just learned things and tried to be as good as I can in all the subjects, because I didn't want to let my family down, and I did it more for them than for myself, and I really struggled. And the only thing I really did for myself and that I really enjoyed doing and I was really good at was English. I was inspired by my teacher at school, and I just found pure joy. I was looking forward to all my English classes, and I was looking forward to even doing homework. And I just found it easier than other people, and it was just my thing. English was my thing. And I graduated from university in English, and I came to England because I was drawn to the the English culture. I was curious. I wanted to see England, experience the real Englishness, Britishness, so to speak. And as soon as I came here, I felt at home. And it wasn't easy, even though I learned English for many, many years. in Latvia, I really struggled to understand people when they were talking to me, partially because what you learn at school is not the real English, and also you have so many dialects in England. You go 5 miles up the road and they speak almost completely different language. So, that's my journey, but yours is going to be different. Why is it important for you? Why are you trying to learn English? When we want to learn a language, we normally say, "Oh, I want to learn English," or "I want to learn French," or "I want to learn Spanish." Okay, cool, but there are hundreds of thousands of words in the English language. It's one of the richest languages in the whole world. You're never going to learn all that. It's saying I want to learn English is like trying to eat a whole elephant all in one go. You can't do that. It's impossible. So what you need to think about is what you need to do is you need to cut the elephant in smaller pieces, in small bite-sized chunks, and eat it little bit by little bit by little bit until the whole elephant's gone. So really what you need to ask yourself when you say you want to learn a language in general is what's my goal? What's my motivation? What's my goal? Am I doing it because my parents want me to? Is it because I want to work for some big multinational corporation and I have a better chance of getting a job if I know other languages? Is it just because I want to be able to have a conversation in English? Or if I want to be able to write emails to my clients who speak English? So what is the reason? You can't just say, I just want to learn the language in general. There must be something specific that you want to learn it for. And once you decide what that goal is, then you sort of break it down in smaller little chunks, and you do that. You take one step at a time, one little baby step at a time, and slowly, you are going to do it. You're going to make it. And it requires a lot of patience, and it is a lot of work. I can't lie, learning a language is never easy. I mean, some people find it easy, but it's just a gift that they have. And anyone can learn another language, but everybody has a different approach, a different way of how they can learn easier. So, my friend also said maybe you have some tips for people on how to become successful at mastering English. And I think my tips would kind of depend on what you want to learn it for. So, for example, if you just wanted to learn English for a general conversation, I mean, there are millions of different conversations you can have. Where do you start? And also, are you learning the language in an isolated environment? Are you in your own country and there's no one else really speaking like that language very well around you, and all you do is try to learn to have some sort of conversation from the internet? That's going to impact how successful you are, because if you don't have a chance to actually practice the language, then you're probably going to lose your motivation very quickly. For example, my mother tongue is Latvian. I also learned Russian from an early age because I was born in 82 and that was the time of Soviet Union, and I had and still have many Russian speaking friends. So, I just kind of learnt it from an early age because I was in that environment. And then I proceeded to learning a little bit of German because many of the channels and the best movies, the most interesting cartoons were in German. And I just used to sit and watch, not understanding a single word, and slowly, and very slowly, very gradually, before I knew it, I could understand very basic German, and I can, surprisingly say more than I ever thought I could just by watching TV and making an effort, and trying to, take on some lessons here and there. But my motivation was I wanted to watch movies and cartoons in German, so I learned a little bit of German. Again, I learned a little bit of Spanish because I really enjoy holidays in Spain, and so I started by taking lessons in Spanish, so I learned the very basics of the language. But then, because I wasn't really using it all the time, I kind of stopped. I just lost motivation. I only use it when I go on holiday, and I don't really have anyone to speak to in Spanish all the time. So for me, I was like, what's the point? But then, before every holiday, I've been to Spain probably about 5 times now, I would pick it up again. And I would actually learn more because my motivation was my holiday in Spain. So I was going to go there, so I would need to know how to take a taxi, how to order something in a restaurant, how to ask for the bill, just, very basic stuff. But my motivation was, I'm going to Spain, I'm going to need to use it. And I would learn it just before I go and take all my notes and everything with me on my holiday. And then I would, go to a bar with my notes, and I'd go, okay, this is how I ask for a drink. So I'd go to the bar and go, okay, blah, 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 blah. And that's how, gradually, I learned more and more and more. So again, it's very important that you practice what you learn. If you just want to learn English because you need to type emails at work, you need to respond to clients and talk. So then again, your motivation is that, and you would specifically learn about business English. You would learn how to construct an email, the language that's most often used in writing emails. You just concentrate on that. Because I've taught so many people that are just confused by how much there is to learn, and it's very easily done, the confusion. You have so many videos teaching you so many different things, and you kind of just grab onto this and grab onto that, and especially when you're on YouTube, you say Google something specific, I don't know, how to speak about cooking, and you have then loads of other recommended videos underneath, and before you start clicking on everything, and before you know, it's taking you somewhere else. And then you have all these apps that you can practice English on, and everything it's just all here and there and everywhere. And it's really because it doesn't connect. You would really find it difficult to pull it together, and lots of people do, because there is no context. Okay, so you don't have a context. You just you learn your prepositions on here, your past perfect on there, and these are the expressions for doing this and saying that. But how do you put it together? It's really hard. So you really have to focus on the direction that you're going. Like I said, if the direction is, if your goal is quite a big one, you want to have a conversation in English about anything, you need to take a small piece. Okay, today I'm going to focus on this little bit here, and I'm going to master all the expressions and words and learn all the vocabulary, just talking, for example, about TV programs or about my hobbies, little bit by little bit. So, one of my tips is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say you don't understand something. don't be afraid to ask people what it means. How do you use it properly? You know, if somebody's talking and they say a word you don't know, if you feel like you don't want to interrupt the conversation and ask for the meaning, just try to remember that word. Try to remember the word, and then go away and do some research. And then, you know, take that word and go, aha, I'm going to try to use it in my next conversation. And really make the effort to use all your new words. You could even in your head construct a whole sentence around that word, and then try to put that in a conversation somewhere. Another tip would be practice, practice, practice. If you don't have anyone to practice with in real life, you can always practice in your own head. Make up conversations. Pretend that you're talking to someone else. It's absolutely fine. You know, and if you don't practice, you will not succeed. And it's not always easy, but if you really want to do it, you will. So, and then another one of my tips, again, it depends on why you want to learn English. If you want to speak good conversational English, the tip is copy. Copy how other people speak. You can pick one person that you feel inspired by, or, you know, if it's on TV, or it's a friend or a teacher who you really admire and you like the way they speak and you want to be able to speak the same way as they do, copy them. Even if you don't like that person, but you think, I don't like them, but their English is really good, just copy them. You know, it's absolutely fine. Copy the words, the phrases, copy whole sentences if you want. You know, I have a friend who came to England and could hardly speak any English. And he told me he would watch your classic British soap operas, like Coronation Street and EastEnders. And the language is quite simple there. And he would actually write down whole phrases or whole expressions, and learn the English in a chunk rather than learning grammar and then trying to construct a sentence. He would learn a whole sentence, and he would have that sentence in the back of his head to whip out whenever he needed to use it. If you think about it, that's how we learn languages as babies. You know, that's how we learn our own language. We copy our parents or teachers or friends in the yard. You know, we become little parrots and we just repeat what we hear and how we hear it. You know, it's quite funny sometimes you see little kids saying something like in the same manner as their mum or the dad, like, oh, stop it, you, or, you know, something silly like that. And it's just so funny. And that's how they learn, and that's how we should be learning a language. Just take whole expressions and whole chunks and copy from whoever, but be careful with that. If you are copying from TV shows or anything on TV, you want to pick something that's quite current. You don't want to end up sounding like you are from the 60s or the 70s. And also you don't want to be learning English from the news. That's a whole different language. So pick something easy, something that's sort of everyday English, if that's what you want to do. And again, if you want to learn how to write emails, talk to clients, then you need to be looking into the business English. Google how to write an email in English. Google your terminology that's specific to your workplace. You know, start from there. So that's a little bit about me. And like I said, it's important to have a goal before you start learning English. And I wish you all good luck. And I'm available to speak to if you have any questions or if you want further advice. Just message me, pop a comment on here, and I will do my best to help you out with that. All right. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.